Myanmar and welcome to Myanmar Today. I am Henry Zin with the latest news and reports from around Myanmar. Yanai brings us a first report on high potential of encountering a huge earthquake. Agacho's coverage on up to 75% of medicine are imported products. Dora Swizin has a story on China's efforts in environmental conservation. Williamson's bringing us the report on Avis to invest $15 million in Myanmar. Before we get to the reports, let's take a look at the local news. The launch ceremony of the second phase of the Labour Market project was held at the M Gallery Hotel in Naypyidaw on Thursday. The project is initiated in line with the MOU for developing Myanmar's labour industry signed between the Ministry of Labour, Immigration and Population and Denmark. The Danish government signed an MOU in 2015 to help develop Myanmar's labour industry and implemented the first phase from 2016 to 2018. There has been increased tripartite cooperation between the key stakeholders of the labour market, namely the government, employers and employees, and the second phase seeks to further promote good results. The MOU agrees to establish safer and healthier workplaces, multi-sectoral cooperation, improving the skills of workplace safety and the health inspectors from the Department of Factory and General Labour Laws Inspection, conducting social seminars, providing training to the Department of Labour Relations in resolving labour disputes, and organizing observation trips and trainings to Denmark. Union Minister for Health and Sports Dr. Myen Twe attended the 72nd session of the WHO Regional Committee for Southeast Asia from September 2nd to the 4th in New Delhi. The Union Minister attended the Health Sector Preparedness and Emergency Response Ministerial meeting on Tuesday. The meeting exchanged emergency response experiences in times of natural disasters, organizing for regional countries to provide practical support to each other, amending guidelines and regulations to changing situations and having the WHO distribute them to all affiliated countries simultaneously. The Union Minister signed and adopted the Delhi Declaration on Emergency Preparedness with the WHO Director General, Southeast Asian Region Director, and health ministers from regional countries. 3 alley gardens will be opened between 32nd Street and Sule Pagoda Road, between 31st Street and 32nd Street, and 31st Street and Bosumpat Street in Papedan Township in December, according to Do Ain. Designed to allow people to lead a healthier life, the 3 alley gardens will be opened in December in the lower block of Papedan Township by Do Ain in cooperation with the local residents, the ward and township administrators, the municipal committee and the Lotto representatives. Currently, a survey is being conducted and the designs for the alley gardens are being discussed with the Alley Gardens Maintenance Committee and local residents. Alley garden projects are being implemented with 80% funds contributed by donors and 20% by the public. The projects are being undertaken in cooperation with companies and embassies. 8 alley garden projects have been implemented so far to promote healthy lifestyle and make Yangon beautiful. That's all with the local news, and we shall dive right into our first report. Myanmar is prone to earthquakes, and there have been many earthquakes of various magnitudes that occurred across the country. Many faults exist, including major Sagaing Fault in Myanmar. Above all, Yangon is the most densely populated city with many high-rise buildings, likely to have more risks and more damages in case of earthquakes. Our reporter Yanai interviewed some experts from Myanmar Earthquake Committee.
Myanmar is prone to earthquakes, and there has been many earthquakes of various magnitudes happen all around the country. According to the earthquake map, in Myanmar, many faults exist, including Sagaing Fault. Sagaing Fault is over 600 miles inland from Putao of North Myanmar to Motamasi, and many earthquakes of high magnitude have been occurred along this fault.
Around
1929 and 1930, in the south of the Sagaing Fault, Swa earthquake and Bago earthquake were measured over magnitudes of 7. The duration of return period is about 80 years, so it needs to be alerted if it hasn't returned even around 100 years. The last time a huge earthquake with 7.3 magnitude was in 1930, so it has more potential of returning because it is now in the time of return period. We have to be cautious about the areas with more possibilities, such as the middle of Myanmar, Mandalay region, Naypyidaw, the south of the Sagaing Fault, as well as Yangon and Bago.
In 1930, over 500 people were killed and the buildings were destroyed in Bago region because of Bago earthquake of 7.3 magnitudes. Moreover, it also affects in Yangon region and over 50 people were killed and the buildings were destroyed as well.
1920ပတ်ချာလဲမှာရှိနေတဲ့အခြေအနေနဲ့1930ကအခြေအနေနဲ့လူဦးရေချင်းလည်းမတူတော့ဘူး
The situation of 2019 and 2020 is different from the period of 1929 and 1930 in terms of population, infrastructure, and city development. Because of the improvement, if the earthquakes with the same magnitude of Bago earthquake hits in Sagaing Fault, there is possibility of more intensive damages.
Because of growth in population and high-rise buildings, it is necessary to have building condition assessment of earthquake resistance in public buildings and flats in order to reduce the risks as much as possible.
ရန်ကုန်လိုမျိုးကတော့အဲဒီကျွန်တော်တို့နိုင်ငံမှာလူနေအထူးတက်ဆုံးဖြစ်တယ်။နောက်ပြီးတော့အဆောက်အဦတိုက်တာ
In our country, Yangon is the most crowded city. It is likely to have more risks in Yangon. Even it is not about the more potential of earthquake, it will have more damage if an earthquake hits in Yangon comparing to other cities and towns in the country.
မြို့ရွာတွေကိုရှင်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်ပြောတာပါ
In August of 2019, there have been some earthquakes happen in Myanmar, which need to be noticed. The noticeable one was the earthquake hit around Shrebo at 9 p.m. 39 minutes 22 seconds of 31st August, which caused the damage to the pagodas. This earthquake of 6 magnitudes is alarming to be aware of the risks of earthquake.
အဲ့တော့ခုနကပြောလို့တကယ်လူကြီးထူထပ်တဲ့မြို့ကြီးတွေရဲ့အနီးနားမှာစကိုင်းပြတ်ရွေးလိုနေရာကနေပြီးတော့
As I've mentioned before, if an earthquake of over 7 magnitude hits centering in the Sagaing Fault, there will be massive damage. Therefore, the responsible organizations should be doing preparedness.
ပြောတယ်ကြိုတင်ပြင်ဆင်မှုလုပ်ငန်းတွေကိုဆောင်ရွက်သင့်နေပြီပေါ့
Most of the high magnitude earthquakes are occur because of the faults, and there are over numerous faults in Myanmar.
That's a report on high potential of encountering a huge earthquake. The 7th edition of Myanmar FarmMed Expo 2019 and Myanmar Lab Expo 2019 is taking place at Rose Garden Hotel from Thursday to Saturday. During these 3 days, the exhibition is expected to draw a gathering of over 3,000 trade visitors, including distributors, importers, traders, doctors, pharmacists, biologists, technicians, and specialists of related industry. Experts gave their comments on the current medicine and lab market as well as the local consumption.
About 75% of the medicinal products are imported from overseas to meet the local consumption for the population of 53 million. This was explained by U Kam Lai, chairman of Myanmar Pharmaceutical Association, at the opening ceremony of Myanmar FarmMed Expo 2019 and Myanmar Lab Expo 2019. The 7th edition of Myanmar FarmMed Expo 2019 and Myanmar Lab Expo 2019 takes place at the Rose Garden Hotel from 5th to 7th of September. U Kam Lai, chairman of Myanmar Pharmaceutical Association, gave his comment on the local medicine market.
About 75% of the medicinal products are imported to meet the local consumptions for the population of 53 million. The medicinal products are imported largely from the neighboring countries of India and China. Some of the medicines are also imported from Bangladesh, Malaysia, and Indonesia. The remaining 25% is manufactured by the state and private factories. The quality of the medicinal products is controlled by the national drug law.
Myanmar's healthcare sector is perceived as a significant potential for industry key players, especially for foreign countries. As referred in Invest Myanmar, the country's pharmaceutical market is estimated to be worth about $600 million and expected to grow to $1 billion in next 5 years. Currently, the country's real GDP, stated in Myanmar Economic Monitor June 2019, is projected to grow at 6.5% in 2018 and 2019. The recent relaxation of laws governing foreign investment in healthcare, coupled with current growing demand for high-quality healthcare facilities, is presenting various opportunities for healthcare providers. Usain Lajo, corporate medical doctor of Right Healthcare Company Limited, said,
The standard of the lab equipment have been on the increase gradually. Now the equipment used in United States are now used in Myanmar as well. As the world has become globalized, if a new equipment is developed in those countries, that equipment comes to Myanmar as well in short time. So by using those equipment helps us in diagnosing the medical conditions. The equipment comes from various countries, but the people's choice depends on their affordable capacity.
During 3 days, the exhibition is expected to draw a gathering of over 3,000 trade visitors, including distributors, importers, traders, doctors, pharmacists, biologists, technicians, and specialists of related industry. About 500 brands from different countries and regions, namely Italy, Japan, Singapore, Malaysia, Korea, India, China, and more, will feature a wide array of their latest products, state-of-the-art equipment and technologies, as well as integrated solutions for healthcare business growth, providing visitors with great opportunities to learn about technology transfers and source prospective partners right at the expo. Ko Pong Myat, organizer of the event, said,
Aiming to enhancing high quality and effective partnerships among exhibitors, distributors, and dealers, a professional B2B matchmaking program will also be well designed at the exhibition to assist participants in networking with their expected partners through one-on-one pre-scheduled meetings. Myanmar FarmMed Expo 2019 and Myanmar Lab Expo 2019 was also attached to its significance, with helping both exhibitors and visitors attain a wealth of history, industry knowledge, and catch up with market trends through an unseparated part of the exhibition, with useful and practical topics which will be presented by top speakers and leading experts from reliable sources. The organizer expects attendees could keep up to date with trends and changes in Myanmar and the world's healthcare industry, get a clear overview of industry growth prospects, level up the value chain of business through a variety of technological advances from high-end providers, and forge linkage with key decision makers, highlight topics that may interest specialized visitors of the pharmaceutical, medical, and lab industry.
This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on up to 75% of medicine are imported products. Let's take a look at the currency rates from Myanmar Central Bank. $1 is at 1,535 kyats. 1 Chinese renminbi is at 214 kyats. 1 euro is at 1,694 kyats. 1 pound sterling is at 1,883 kyats. 1 Singapore dollar is at 1,109 kyats. 1 Malaysian ringgit is at 366 kyats. 1 Thai baht is at 50 kyats, and the Indian rupee is at 21 kyats. Gold is trading at $1,515. Silver is at $18, and Brent crude oil is at $56. On the Yangon Stock Exchange, FMI remains at 11,500. MTSH remains at 4,300. MCB remains at 8,400. FPB remains at 25,000. TMH dropped 50 at 3,000. You're with MI Radio's Myanmar Today. You can go to our website at miradio.com.mm and listen to our radio programs live on the website. If you're on FM, catch us on 96.1 FM in Yangon, 96.5 in Mandalay, and 96.7 in Naypyidaw. Or you can simply download MI Radio app on both iOS and Android devices so you can listen to our radio programs on the go very conveniently. Alright, let's move on to the next report. China is working towards environmental conservation locally and globally by performing policy and projects. In collaboration with other countries, China is supporting for renewable energy development, climate resilient, and low carbon. Let's take a look at the report.
China is the large country with growing population, which leads to high energy consumption and other environmental issues. So the authorities and other organizations have been working out for the environmental conservation to achieve the green and clean environment by performing renewable energy and low carbon. Moreover, China has been contributing globally in terms of energy transition and climate resilience. China has started green finance system in 2014 to promote green finance for clean energy investments in China and globally. Within the framework of this system, there are 4 major pillars which include better opportunities for green projects. As one of the pillars of green finance system, China has been working on the mandatory of disclosure requirement.
The Ministry of Environment issued a set of rules on requiring large polluters to disclose environmental information on a mandatory basis. That was done quite a few years ago, and recently CSRC, namely the China securities regulators, have issued a roadmap towards establishing a mandatory disclosure requirement for all listed companies by 2020. So by next year, China will become the only large economy that has introduced a mandatory requirement for environmental information disclosure. Information to be disclosed by the listed companies would include the CO2, SO2, NOx, COD, water consumption, energy consumption, and so on and so forth. By requiring such disclosure, it will make the financial markets and market players much easier to identify who is green and who is not green. Thereby, they can channel the financial resources much more effectively towards the green companies. The other major effort that China is working on to promote green investments globally is called the Green Investment Principles for the Belt and Road. The Belt and Road, as you know, included more than 120 countries, most of them are developing countries. And they were aware that these countries, including most of the ASEAN countries, require lots of infrastructure investments. In fact, the ASEAN plus other Belt and Road countries may represent the majority of global infrastructure demand in the coming few decades. But it's so important to make sure that these infrastructure investments are green, low carbon, and climate resilient.
Another project which was founded in 2011 by China is called China South-South Cooperation on Climate Change, which provides aid to least developing countries, African countries, and small island nations to help them in climate resilience through renewable energy, energy conservation, and disaster prevention technologies, as well as climate change trainings. The project has been implemented in 22 countries with a cost of more than 1 billion yuan, which was funded by Department of Climate Change, Ministry of Ecology and Environment of China. China is also collaborating with ASEAN countries for the renewable energy development sector. Renewable Energy Implementation (REI) toolkit was developed to provide guidance for evaluation, implementation, and scale-up of renewable energy projects and programs. With the support of Global Environmental Institute (GEI) of China, REI toolkit is also being carried out in Myanmar.
Renewable Energy Implementation (REI) Toolkit is scheduled from 2018 to 2020 in Myanmar. Within this project, we have done solar availability assessment all over the country. At the present time, we chose Mandalay region for solar rooftop system. We can use the renewable energy obtaining from solar to partly fulfill the electricity requirement in our country. From this toolkit, we are to finally produce report and recommendation, which are to be contributed to the respective ministries to be able to apply in projects.
Only by working together can we effectively address climate change, marine pollution, biological conservation, and other global environmental issues, and achieve the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development.
That's all for now. This is Dora Susan from MI Radio.
That's a report on China's effort in environmental conservation. Well, here's our last report on Avis to invest $15 million in Myanmar. With the development of the automobile industry in Myanmar, some of the well-known automotive companies are also coming to Myanmar. Avis, one of the biggest car rental companies in the world, is the latest to join the automobile industry in Myanmar and be a part of automotive industrial growth in Myanmar. It also aims to bring job opportunities in Myanmar and at the same time help the business through its service. Williamson has the details. Take it away.
With the development of businesses in different sectors, Myanmar is also attracting some of the biggest entrepreneurs around the globe. Avis is one of the latest car rental service company which launched its office in Myanmar to support both business and leisure travelers. It also offers long and short-term car rental solutions. Speaking to the media, Ms. Prasopon Tansupasri, General Manager of Avis Myanmar, said,
We plan for roughly about $15 million investment for the business in coming years in Myanmar. Mainly would be purchasing the vehicles and the branch expansion outside of Yangon. Maybe I can refer back to 5 years ago, right, when the road was still empty. And now look at Yangon or in Myanmar today, it's full of cars. But the question would be whether the people here got offer with the high quality and premium services. So that's where Avis can play its role to support the growth of the business and of course the individuals here.
With the rapid growth of automobiles industry in Myanmar, Avis is also aiming to be a part of this growth, as Myanmar is a country with great potential, particularly with the development of its automotive industry. Speaking at the launching ceremony, HE Mr. Scott Marshall, U.S. Ambassador to Myanmar, said,
We, as you all know, we want to support Myanmar's efforts to build a stronger economy that brings benefits for the people of the country. And we believe that bringing our best U.S. companies here to provide the best quality services, as Avis does, is one way that we can contribute. And it's not only by providing the services in terms of car rental and chauffeur-driven cars and so on, but it's also the contribution by hiring Myanmar workers. I'm told around 300 workers, 300 Myanmar people will be hired. And one of the things I'm proudest about working with U.S. companies is that they are hiring and training and promoting Myanmar people. They're becoming part of the community, and I know Avis is very committed to doing that as well, to make a long-term contribution, not only by providing good services, but by contributing to the development of the economy. And as I like to say, by doing business the way Myanmar people tell us they want business done. Doing business according to the best international standards in a way that brings real benefits to the people of the community here.
Avis Myanmar offers bespoke car rental package and aims to assist business in the country in delivering premium service and becoming a trusted mobility partner. Speaking at the event, HE Mrs. Subhatra Srimetri Pitak, the ambassador of Thailand to Myanmar, also explains.
The car rental business, which is born of the partnership between RMA and Avis, would not only plays a part to the expansion of service industry in Myanmar, but also directly push forward the implementation of Myanmar Sustainable Development Plan, or what we know very well, MSDP, the National Roadmap for Myanmar's Development. The investment by the joint venture company and its plan to employ hundreds of staff would definitely complement goal number 3 of MSDP, which is particularly focused on the creation of quality jobs together with the expansion of private sector as an engine of the country's economic growth. With long years of experience and a wide range of expertise, Avis Group is in the position to contribute to the growing part of logistics industry in Myanmar. Such endeavor will help ensure the higher mobility of passengers across the country, while creating stronger linkage of the rural-urban connectivity. I personally hope that we're going to have the ease of driving across the country in Myanmar, and also across the border between Thailand and Myanmar too.
This is Williamson reporting for MI Radio.
That's all the reports we have for today. Now let's have a look around on the international landscape. In Hong Kong, a US expert says violence has been very disruptive to Hong Kong's stability and economic well-being. And also, Hong Kong rioters have committed 5 major crimes. Destroying public property is among one of them. Let's take a look at the footage.
The violence, that's critically, that's a serious problem. It's very disruptive. Stability, political stability is the foundation of economic development. And rule of law is the foundation of civil society. So you have the need for stability for economic development, rule of law for the development of a civil society that is good for the people. And it's the best opportunity for Hong Kong's future. I would exaggerate to make a statement that, that is Hong Kong's future. And Hong Kong really doesn't have a significant economic future outside of this integrated plan.
Well, that's all we have on Myanmar Today. Catch the show on MITV every evening, Monday to Friday at 8:30. You can also join me on MI Radio from 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m., 1 to 1:30 p.m., and from 7:30 to 8 in the evening. Don't forget to drop your comments and messages on our Facebook posts. We'll be back with more news and reports. Thank you for joining us. I am Henry Zin. Have a great day, everyone.